October 26th through November 2nd. Don't miss out on the Hollywood Initiative happening in Los Angeles, California. Are you an aspiring actor looking to better your career? Learn the essential tools you'll need at the Hollywood Initiative. Receive training in voice coaching. Participate in acting classes, workshops, demo scenes, headshots. Meet with agents and directors and so much more at the Hollywood Initiative. Have questions for the experts? Participate in the Hollywood Initiative's Q&A show. Don't miss out on this week-long event that will help move your career forward. Apply now. Register at thehollywoodinitiative.com. That's thehollywoodinitiative.com. And be sure to follow the Hollywood Initiative on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords The Hollywood Initiative. Those of you who are current or former students dealing with a student loan or getting ready to embark on getting a student loan, listen up. I know it can be challenging and scary with this experience. I can tell you when me and my friends were in school, we didn't have all the information that's out there now available at your fingertips to make the best decision possible. And as a result, we are still paying off our student loans this very day. Students, parents, listen up. Don't go down this path. My friend, Dr. Linda at JustDoItAfraid.com is here to help with student loan consultation and mentorship. She specializes in college students and their parents considering student loans for the first time, or those who are having difficulty repaying their loans, those who are in default. With ongoing consultation, you will understand how student loans work, what repayment plan will work for you, how to temporarily postpone payment if you're having financial difficulty, and how to consolidate 2 or more of your loans into one loan, and if in default, how to get out, how to have the most of your student loans be forgiven. These services, great services at that, are provided by Dr. Linda, who is a former college financial aid advisor, a college admission counselor, and college instructor. Her services are very affordable, personable, and confidential, so you have nothing to lose but so much to gain. Head on over to JustDoItAfraid.com and get advice from an expert. That's www.justdoitafraid.com. I'm gonna give that to you one more time. JustDoItAfraid.com.
Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011, you're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
What's going on, guys? Lee Sanders here. You're checking out an all-new The RCWR Show coming at you this Sunday night of September the 16th, 2018, as we are covering WWE Hell in a Cell 2018 Fallout. Come one, come all, as I'm going to be talking about this event. I would have to say that with the exception of a questionable main event, I would have to say that tonight's pay-per-view event was damn strong. It was actually pretty damn strong. I loved it. From the pre-show all the way up to a questionable head-scratching closer for the pay-per-view event. I mean, overall, I would have to say the pay-per-view, as far as pass or fail, I would have to say Hell in a Cell tonight definitely gets a pass. It really does, and I thought that, and I'm going to jump out there, and some people may disagree with me, but I'm not saying that, you know, at the end of the day, this is just an opinion show, okay? I know that, yeah, I have a lot of you guys that come to me, you look for the opinion, you look for the input and everything like that, but at the end of the day, what I say is not law, okay? I say that to basically say, hey, look, we may disagree on some things, but at the end of the day, you know, respect my opinion just as I will definitely take the time out to respect your opinion, right? But for me, I would have to say that with regards to Hell in a Cell, this card was better. Just the max execution, the storytelling, everything, the logic, the booking, everything just felt better, dare I say, than SummerSlam. I mean, that says a lot. I mean, for me to jump out there like that and say that, right? Now, you can't help but wonder if maybe WWE was a little bit inspired by some of the events that had went down with the All In pay-per-view event, and if maybe they kind of felt as though, hey, everybody's hollering and rooting and raving over that All In, we need to really freaking deliver here. I don't know. Or if maybe it's just a situation where, hey, okay, look, we're kind of going into the fall season now. Kids are coming home from school and they're going to be checking us out more. They're not really going to be outside anymore, going on vacations or camp and all this other stuff. All right, we're also competing with the NFL season now that it's back in full effect. Okay, let's really jazz it up. But then you also got to factor in the Super Show that's going to be going in, or it's going down in 3 weeks, right? So there's a lot of equations that just factor into, like, we never really will know why it seemed as though WWE really pushed forth with a pretty solid pay-per-view tonight, right? But I would have to say, look, was it extreme, and did we see any, oh my god, why did that happen, or some crazy stuff like that? I mean, there were a few little bright spots here and there, but I mean, compared to the previous Hell in a Cell pay-per-views, which were pretty lackluster, I would dare say that this Hell in a Cell definitely is one I will be remembering for quite some time. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth, as I really felt that the card was pretty strong. Definitely pretty damn strong. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the pre-show. I had took my notes for you guys here to I took some damn good notes here tonight. I did fantastic earlier today. I watched my football. I was able to get in a little bit of a cat nap so I could be nice and rested up for you guys, because I am fresh off of working pretty much 6 days straight this week, not really having any proper rest. So if I'm not doing the day job, I was mad busy this week working with some clients, and clients for my side business, and then also clients for tonight's show. We'll tell you a little bit about those in a little bit. Our pre-show panel had consisted of Jonathan Coachman. I'm assuming now in his new role, right? I mean, we heard he was going to be part of the Raw pre-show kickoff panel, right? Raw pre-show kickoff panel. Actually was quite a surprise to see him part of the pay-per-view pre-show, but hey, I took it. I loved it. But we had Jonathan Coachman, SmackDown General Manager Paige, Peter Rosenberg, David Otunga, and Booker T. Our pre-show matchup, we had Rusev and Aiden English holding it down for New Day, or sorry, Rusev Day, taking on New Day. Rusev Day, New Day. Great tag team matchup there for the SmackDown tag titles. Actually, those damn good tag match, honestly. And the way that this tag match had went about story-wise, you kind of got that feeling that going into the actual pay-per-view card itself, tonight was probably going to be one of those nights as far as good quality goes. Closing moments for our pre-show tag matchup, we had saw Rusev. He had Kofi Kingston right where he wanted him, and there's no telling what Rusev maybe was about to do to Kofi. Maybe he was gonna, go the whole Rusev crush, and, he was gonna look for his trademark submission signature move. But in either case, we had saw Aiden English tag himself in at the shock of Rusev, wondering what the hell. Aiden English feeling as though he had it, like, no worries, Rusev, I got this, just stand to the side, let me do this. So tagged himself in, and we had saw at one point, I want to say Rusev had tried to climb on the top turnbuckle, and he was looking for a high risk maneuver. He missed because Kofi had moved out of the way. Aiden climbed up on the top turnbuckle soon after, and he was able to connect with his frog body splash. Only had got a 2 count. The match had continued. Then going into the closing moments, we had saw Aiden English. He thought, well, maybe what I need to do is Rusev submission hold. Maybe I need to look for that. So he tried to apply that. Had a pretty good hold on there. The legal man was Big E. Big E actually had tried to run in, but Rusev had connected with a nice, good side kick, super kick, if you will, to the face. Took out Big E. Big E goes rolling out of the ring once again. And we see Kofi, he's eventually able to get out of that submission hold applied by English. We see Rusev try to charge at Kofi. Kofi sends Rusev flying in between the ropes. That pretty much takes care of him. And then we see Aiden English. He tries to charge after Kofi, but Kofi manages to use Aiden English's momentum, sending him into the ropes. Aiden bounces off of the ropes as Kofi connects with the Trouble in Paradise to pick up the 1, the 2, the 3, and is able to retain the tag team titles for SmackDown. So still your SmackDown Tag Team Champions, New Day. Good pre-show matchup. That was our one and only pre-show matchup. Now, by this point, we heard rumblings that a major name was backstage at tonight's Hell in a Cell, and he was just walking around carefreely, not a care in the world, apparently, and you're kind of wondering, what the hell? But Brock Lesnar was apparently walking around now. There was no footage or anything, at least to my knowledge. And I usually get the jump start early when it comes to hopping on social media, interacting with you guys while the pre-show is on, going into the actual pay-per-view. And nobody, as far as my timeline goes, maybe it was put out there. I don't know. I would need to rely on you guys, but there was no photos or anything saying, oh my God, hey, it's Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's in the house. What the hell? I didn't see anything. So if WWE was being that bold, that brazen about Lesnar, and he's just walking around like that, I mean, hey, honestly, I'm not really disappointed at that, because that just creates even more shock value as far as, okay, so what exactly is going to be happening with this pay-per-view card tonight if Lesnar is in fact in the house. Actual pay-per-view card, we go. Steel cage structure, by the way, they switched it up this year. I saw so many freaking memes going into this pay-per-view. Like, everything had started, I would have to say, maybe Thursday. We had got our first images of how the Hell in a Cell steel cage structure setup was looking. And you just see this ugly ass, horrific looking red cage. And you're just going, okay, I get it. Hell in a Cell, and it's red or burgundy or whatever. No, that was actually bloodshot red. That wasn't burgundy. It was bloodshot red. You're going, okay, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. But then you just see how everybody just starts doing all these funny ass spoofs off of it, and they basically are saying how it reminds them a lot of the McDonald's playpen, and it's got the red cage on it. I mean, that was hilarious seeing all of those images. But you know, in all fairness, I give WWE kudos for trying to switch it up a little bit. I really do. And I had no problem with the steel cage structure. I mean, sometimes change is good. You know, change isn't really that bad, right? But that was good there. It was good. First matchup of the night, kicking off the actual Hell in a Cell card. Randy Orton taking on Jeff Hardy. Fucking A. Oh, what an insane matchup this was. I mean, Randy Orton having his left leg, his back lacerated, nice good deep cuts. You know, he's bleeding. Oh my God. You know, one part during this match, I'm sure you probably have seen the images right now, and I know everybody's like, wait, what? But it actually did happen. We see Randy Orton grab a screwdriver, and he puts it in the ear of Jeff Hardy. Now, when I'm initially seeing this screwdriver, I'm going, okay, I get it. Randy Orton, he's just gonna probably stick the screwdriver into Jeff Hardy's ear, and he's gonna just stretch that bad boy out, because you look at the handle part of the screwdriver and you're going, wow, that's pretty thick. That's what she said. But you're going, wow, he's probably gonna, you know, I'm gonna slide it in right to the top, slide it in, I ain't never gonna stop. Slide it in, slide it in, slide it. I'm thinking maybe Randy Orton's just gonna, slide it in, man. But no. Randy had different plans for that screwdriver in mind, as he basically puts it in, with at the metal, the metal tip part, right? He goes in with that. I mean, the whole metal tip and the rod, he goes in with that. And then basically he's treating Randy Orton's earlobe like a freaking, a jack to a tire, and you're just twisting the bad boy. To see that visual of Randy Orton actually twisting the hell, he actually legitimately twists it. He twists Jeff Hardy's earlobe. He just couldn't help but scream your ass off, going, holy crap, this is disgusting. Like, what the hell? I thought I had so many mixed emotions as I'm watching this shit, man. I'm going, oh my god, that is disgusting, that is wicked, that is cool. Please give me more. All right, give me more of this sick shit, man. I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. Love that spot. That was definitely the fucking spot of the night. Definitely the spot of the night. What else did we see in that? We saw, we kept hearing going into the Hell in a Cell, Jeff Hardy's going to do something. I mean, look, I know we have the wrestling websites, and everybody's like, rumor has it that Jeff Hardy is going to be, you don't have to be a freaking wrestling news reporter or anything like that to go, oh, Jeff Hardy's going to do a crazy, insane spot. You don't. Okay, just common sense. The question is, what was Jeff going to do? Was Jeff going to climb to the top of the steel cage? And was Jeff Hardy maybe going to do a swanton bomb off of the steel cage? And I don't know, he misses and crashes into the announcer's table? Was maybe something like that going to happen? Right? But like, you couldn't really jump too far ahead, because remember, and see, I was mildly just saying he's going to do something inside the steel cage. That's what I mildly was saying to myself, because just stop and think about it realistically for a second. If Jeff Hardy was willing to do something like I just stated a few seconds ago, then guess what? Come your main event match, what is, how you going to top that? What extreme lengths are you going to take? Because you can't try to do the same thing, because the fans are going to be like, we just saw that like 90 minutes ago. Give us something different, right? Okay, so you had to do something that was, oh my god, yet at the same time could be topped as you go later on into the pay-per-view. So the spot in question that we're all wondering, okay, well, what Randy Orton, what is Jeff Hardy going to do to Randy Orton? We actually saw Jeff Hardy at one point climb up a ladder, and he actually touches the steel cage ceiling, and he climbs onto that. Keep in mind, he fought Randy Orton over to a table that was set up in the ring. So he beat up Randy to the point Randy's a little bit kind of out of it, laid out on that table, as Hardy climbs up to the top of the ladder, climbs up to that steel cage ceiling surface, and he's just dangling back and forth, and he's actually trying to, he's rocking his body like a swing, and he's trying to build up enough momentum so that he can let himself drop and do a flying body splash onto Randy Orton, crash, have Randy go crashing through the announcer's table to the mat, and maybe he can get a 1, 2, 3 that way. He's done this type of stuff before in Impact Wrestling / TNA, okay? So you can easily look it up online, and you can see exactly what he was trying to go for. But the timing, I would have to say, it wasn't perfectly timed. I think Randy Orton moved a little bit too soon. I think Randy Orton moved by about 3 seconds. He moved 3 seconds too fast before Jeff Hardy could even drop, right? If you haven't seen it yet, just go back, check it out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But Randy moved a little bit too fast, too soon. But still a great spot nonetheless, as we had saw Randy evade as Jeff comes crashing down through the announcer's table, And that's pretty much it. The referee's going, oh my God, what the hell? Like, the referee is thinking Jeff Hardy's dead. He's calling for the match to be over as he wants the cage to be lifted up so that EMTs can come out and attend to Hardy. Randy, on the other hand, he's going, what the hell are you talking about? It's a Hell in a Cell match. Like, no, anything goes. Come on. Continue the match. And the referee's like, no, he's hurt. Can't you see that he's hurt? No, he can't continue. No, this match is off. It's over. Randy doesn't care. Randy enforces the referee to count, as Randy just pretty much was able to go right on in there and cover. Referee reluctantly but very quickly counts the 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton wins. Fans are booing the hell out of Randy Orton. And honestly, I love this setup. I love how everything had went down. I mean, pretty much now you got Randy Orton with the mega heat, right? That just pushes him even more. And I love this vicious side of Randy we've been getting since he's been back. I really have. So he's getting that heat. He's getting that momentum that he needs. And then you have the sympathetic card going in favor towards Jeff Hardy. And now you're kind of wondering, okay, well, is this the last time that we're going to be seeing Jeff Hardy? You know, what exactly is going on? As his brother Matt Hardy has made the headlines this weekend, pretty much announcing he's retired. Has a lot of people talking. We'll talk a lot more about Matt Hardy on this Tuesday's the RCWR show, so do stand by for that, because that's actually going to be a pretty good show this coming Tuesday. I'm actually looking forward to that. But you know, in the meantime, you know, look, I'm like this. Jeff Hardy, you know, God bless Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy is beat up. The man is beat up, and he needs all the rest that he can get right now. Him and Matt, they were on the road pretty much relentlessly ever since they first came back to the WWE. And, you know, you hear about the injuries and the current physical status of Matt Hardy, and you can just look at Jeff and you can see that guy is just walking in serious pain. That man is in significant amounts of pain. And, you know, life changes, you know. I mean, you can't keep doing that type of stuff that the Hardys have been known for doing for a couple of decades now without some type of ramifications. So if you ask me straight up if I think Jeff Hardy will come back at some point, I do think, I don't think Jeff Hardy is retired. I think Jeff Hardy, you know, will be back. I do. I think he'll be back. Honestly, it's September. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Jeff Hardy comes back around January, maybe right around Royal Rumble time, and maybe he can kind of reignite his rivalry with Randy Orton, and you can pretty much kind of go from there, right? But I'm just not seeing a turnaround of like November for Jeff Hardy to return. I'm just not seeing that right now, especially with the holidays literally right around the corner and everything. So yeah, I think January is probably the best bet. But then even at that, I think just sporadically Jeff will just be working here and there, and I would suspect that if and when Jeff Hardy does return, maybe you could expect him to be in a lot more tag teams. And honestly, the way that Jeff Hardy has been booked since he's been on SmackDown, it's been very smart. Jeff has not been doing excessive, crazy amounts of, look at me, I'm the crazy guy that doesn't give a care in the world, and I'm climbing up on this structure because I need a pop. I need to send people home going, oh my God, WTF, right? He's not doing any of that crazy shit. He's pretty much saving the big stuff for the pay-per-views. I mean, if you've noticed the pattern. So, same deal with Matt Hardy. So, good stuff right there. But that was a great way to kick off the Hell in a Cell show. And I like the way that they did the announce team, by the way. So, pretty much, I'm looking in my notes here. Pretty much, you had the SmackDown team. They called the pre-show. And then they called the first match, which we just talked about, and they covered the second match, which was Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. Let's talk about that in a hot second. Right now, I want to welcome those of you that are checking out a new edition of the RCWR show. It is our Hell in a Cell after show that we're doing for you guys right now. We're coming at you guys live on Spreaker. And we are pre-recording right now so that we can upload the video podcast edition to YouTube. So as soon as this broadcast is over, I will ASAP put this bad boy up on YouTube for you guys to enjoy as well. And also, I want to take this time out and I want to give a nod to our sponsors for tonight's episode. One of our sponsors that I want to tell you about. Forgive me, guys, a little brain fart there because I'm just looking at some social media activity coming in on Twitter right now. One of our sponsors for tonight's episode of the RCWR Show, I want to give it up to the Hollywood Initiative. Going down October 26th through November 2nd. Don't miss out on the Hollywood Initiative happening in Los Angeles, California. Are you an aspiring actor looking to better your career? Learn the essential tools you'll need at the Hollywood Initiative happening October 26th through November 2nd. Receive training in voice coaching, participate in acting classes, workshops, demo scenes, headshots, meet with agents and directors, and so much more at the Hollywood Initiative. Have questions for the experts? Participate in the Hollywood Initiative's Q&A show. Don't miss out on this week-long event that will help move your career forward. Apply now, register, and more information are at www.thehollywoodinitiative.com. That's thehollywoodinitiative.com. And make sure you give the Hollywood Initiative a follow on social media platforms such as YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords The Hollywood Initiative. We appreciate working with them as they are one of our exclusive sponsors that we are going to be working with for the next several weeks. So we are really happy to have them on board. And also, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by JustDoItAfraid.com, helping you by providing the best consultation, tips, and planning when it comes to student loans. JustDoItAfraid.com. We'll get into a couple of more shout outs, especially when it comes to our Patreon members, in just a hot minute. Second match of the night, we have Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Love this match. Love this matchup. Great storytelling that went down. You know, one of the things that I loved about a majority of these matches is the fact that, okay, a lot of these matches were rivalries, and it's like, okay, let's not have the match start with a goddamn headlock. You know, don't start with a goddamn lockup, right? If you guys really hate each other's freaking guts, let's really see you guys rip each other apart, right? And for pretty much, like, almost a majority of the matches, that was the case, right? And I alluded to it earlier, but it was really cool how they had the color commentator teams set up. So your Raw team, as I mentioned, they pretty much did like, or actually it began with the SmackDown team. The SmackDown team, they covered the pre-show. Your SmackDown color commentating team, Byron Saxton, Corey Graves, Tom Phillips. They did the pre-show. They did Randy Orton taking on Jeff Hardy, and then they did Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte, and then there was a little bit of a break with a backstage segment, and then you had your announced team that came out, and they did 2 matches, and then it went back to the SmackDown team, and eventually it would close out with the Raw team. So that's how they kind of kept ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, like that. But Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, those girls tore it up tonight. They told a really great story. Closing moments of that matchup, we saw Charlotte Flair. She tried to go for her trademark spear, you know, a little mini spear that she does from time to time, and then she thinks she can just go in for a cover, and usually she doesn't get a 3 count off of that spear. But we see Charlotte, she's looking for the spear, and Becky uses Charlotte's momentum to turn it into a nice, I had to play it back a couple of times, and it looked like a great modified judo leg scissors takedown, if you will. That looked as though she was maybe going to try to go for the disarmer, right? Or something of that nature. But the way it went down, it was like a modified judo leg scissors takedown slash quick power slam thingamajigger. You gotta watch it. I mean, it was like all of these things rolled up in one. I BS you not. Some of you guys I know are having a hard time seeing the visual, but I promise you, you look this up online, that, you know, and it was like 10 seconds, right? And you can just see this. The frame I watch, I think I have it on my phone too. I'll share it on social media when the broadcast is over. But you see it and you're like, wow, what the hell? And pretty much Becky Lynch was able to pick up a 3 count to become your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, look, I got to be brutally honest here. I love Becky Lynch. I do. But when I saw this move go down, I couldn't help but wonder if Road Dogg was a little bit intimidated by some of the shit that's been coming his way on social media within the past couple of weeks, right? I say that because, and kind of get you guys caught up to speed a little bit, Road Dogg has been going back and forth with people with regards to what exactly is going on with the Becky Lynch character. Is she a heel? You know, is she kind of going in a Stone Cold Steve Austin direction? What exactly is going on? A lot of people were expressing their disinterest in seeing Becky Lynch go this route, and we saw Road Dogg out the ass defend the position of him and his team that's pretty much in charge of the booking and the writing for SmackDown, saying, no, it's not what you think. It's not as clear cut as, you know, you're making it out to be. You know, there's much more to this. So, you know, you see this, and then you hear the reports how WWE is like strongly reconsidering what they've been doing with their approach to the Becky Lynch character, and you're kind of, okay, whatever. But like, I heard so many other podcasts as far as picks for tonight's winners goes that I did not hear anybody say, Becky Lynch, hands down, she's going to win this. A lot of people were thinking, okay, Charlotte's going to get this, but Becky's probably most likely going to get the title. If not at the Super Show, she's going to get it at the Evolution pay-per-view. So the fact that the trigger was pulled tonight, you know, you just can't help but wonder, you know, and when you see how often Road Dogg was going back and forth with people, you can't help but wonder if Road Dogg and other people higher up in WWE were kind of caving to, well, let's give the fans what they want, right? But like, after Becky Lynch wins, you see Charlotte Flair, she's trying to be a good sport. You know, she's getting a little bit watery-eyed, and she's extending her hand now to Becky to, I guess, shake it and raise Becky's hand up in victory. And Becky says to her, no, this is my moment. You're not taking away my moment. No, this is mine and mine alone. And she smacks Charlotte's hand away, raises the title high in Charlotte's face, and walks out the ring, leaves Charlotte just standing there, beaten and looks like without a friend, right? So you're seeing that, you're going, okay, that's pretty nice. Look, I love Becky. I love, and I've been rooting her for a good minute now, off and on for a very good minute now. And make no mistake about it, I'm not crapping on the fact that Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm not. So please, guys, especially you hardcore Becky Lynch fans, don't take what I'm saying out of context. All I'm saying is I'm just a sucker for the chase. The chase is better than the catch. I've been saying that for years now. And I'm just a little bit surprised that WWE bookers didn't try to milk this for all it's worth and really try to have this go to that next level, and pretty much the big payoff be at Evolution, because after all, you're just a month away. You couldn't hold off until then. So I would like to believe that with regards to this Super Show that's going to be happening in Australia, maybe there's going to be a rematch there. Who knows? We'll have to just wait and see. Backstage segment, we saw New Day celebrating their title defense. We saw Big E, Kofi Kingston. Well, Kofi actually wasn't there. It was actually somebody else. But we saw Big E and Xavier Woods. They're celebrating, but they were wondering where exactly Kofi was. Well, we saw Kramer King cutting up, and Kramer King had asked the New Day, so what's next? Like, you know, where you go from here with your tag team championship? And New Day had revealed that they're now going to be facing the Bar for the SmackDown tag titles at the WWE Super Show. So a little bit of a nice fun announcement right there. From there, our Raw team came in. Our Raw team of Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Renee Young. Renee, not really much of a factor on tonight's show. The few opportunities that she was able to provide additional color commentating, and I know there were a couple of people that were kind of ripping a little bit into Renee. When I say ripping, I don't mean they were bashing her in any type of way. I mean basically you had folks that were saying, she's kind of quiet tonight, you know, what's going on, she's not really saying anything, she's not really that much of a factor, what's going on? And honestly, look, new kid on the block. She's working with a 20+ year veteran and Michael Cole. She's working with Corey Graves. That's like the hottest hand right now in the WWE when it comes to color commentating. You know, she is learning from the best right now. And honestly, I would expect her to continue to, you know, do just pretty much how she did on Raw, which I thought was pretty good. A lot better than her past 2 auditions. But if I'm looking at what she did tonight, I'm going to give her a little bit of a pass due to the fact that, you know, she's the new kid on the block. She's really learning, and so much so, you know, we got to remember she's going to be one of the main color commentators for this Evolution card that's going to be coming up, and that's going to be televised. Okay, so for me, I really did not have a problem if, and I did notice she was a little bit more silent tonight. You know, she jumped in where she could, timed it a little bit perfectly. There was a couple of spots there where there was a bit of overlap between Graves and Cole, you know, but I think in due time, the more and more that she works with them, she'll pick up her cues. She'll be able to really fine-tune when she can jump in and all that, but I really wasn't tripping over what was going on with her tonight. Third matchup, Ziggler, McIntyre, they had defeated Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Pretty damn good tag matchup. That really, I mean, you just was like, it could have went either way. It could have went either way. Closing moments of that matchup, we had saw Seth Rollins look like he was paying homage, or trying to pay homage, to his boy Eddie Guerrero, as he was pulling his version of the Three Amigos. And we see that closing moments is like, I know Seth Rollins did one amigo. I think it was maybe as he was trying to do the second one, we just see Drew McIntyre out of nowhere. He comes in with the Claymore kick, knocks Seth Rollins' freaking head off. And Seth Rollins just goes crashing down to the mat, back first. Ziggler pretty much out of it, but is barely able to get a hand over Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3, and Ziggler, McIntyre retain the tag titles that way. Good tag team matchup. I don't have any more to say with regards to that tag match, but that tag match was definitely on point. Pretty damn solid. Fourth matchup for the WWE SmackDown Championship, or the WWE Championship, I should say. Samoa Joe taking on AJ Styles. This really looked as though it was going to be Joe's night. It really did. I mean, there were so many moments there where you're going, my God, Joe is just owning the hell out of AJ. But like AJ, just when you think Joe's got this, AJ, the resiliency, he's finding some way to kick out. I love the storytelling that was particularly done for this matchup, and the controversy that had surrounded the finish. That was the other thing that I had really loved. Closing moments of this matchup, we had saw Samoa Joe apply the Conquista clutch to AJ. And, you know, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, Joe's got this. Why is Joe playing around with AJ, though? Why are you trying to have AJ go reach over to the ropes? You're a much bigger man than AJ is. Just fall to the ground, choke his ass out, put him to sleep. That's all you got to do. And sure enough, you know, if you were saying that, I know I was saying that at the TV at one point, because I was actually watching this with a couple of friends and family, and, you know, like, just lay on your back, just drop. You choke him out. Make him pass out, and eventually that's what he does. But AJ is pretty much able to use Samoa Joe's weight to his advantage, to AJ's advantage, as once Samoa Joe just drops to his back and he's thinking he's going to be able to put AJ to sleep, last little burst of energy that AJ has, he pretty much is able to sit himself up. You got to watch the replay of this. He sits himself up and the referee is actually counting. So when you see this, you know, AJ, his shoulders are not touching the mat, but Samoa Joe's is. And the ref is counting that way. And 1, 2, 3, AJ Styles still the SmackDown champion. He is still the WWE champion. So we see Samoa Joe, he quickly rolls out of the ring, heads over to the commentators, and he's yelling at them. He's saying, I made AJ tap out. And we hear Corey Graves, he says, you know, Joe, I didn't really see it. I can't really say, but if you're saying that he tapped out, I mean, I believe you, Joe. And Corey is saying, hey, look, I don't know if we have different angles, if we can try to see what Joe is talking about, but the look in his eyes, I believe Joe's telling the truth here. You know, he's talking with such conviction in his voice. You know, we got to see a different angle here. So the few angles that they did show, you're not seeing anything. But then finally, and this came after we had saw Samoa Joe enter the ring, sore loser, tries to get in the face of AJ Styles. AJ has another burst of energy, pretty much owns his ass real quick. That's pretty much it. He pretty much rolls out, but we do finally see one angle that shows as the referee is getting ready to count 3, AJ does in fact tap out, but because of the position where the referee was, referee never sees this. So you're going, okay, a little controversy right there. Now later on during the night, Samoa Joe would go find the SmackDown general manager, Paige, and, you know, demand a rematch. And Paige said, okay, you're gonna have your rematch, but it's gonna happen in 3 weeks at the WWE Super Show. And Joe, he's pissed. He's like, no, I don't want to wait 3 weeks. Like, you know, this is BS. I want him now. And Paige is like, no, you know, you're gonna get him in 3 weeks. That's that, right? So Joe says, okay, 3 weeks, all right, whatever. You know, I don't want there to be any more excuses, you know, no countouts, no DQs. You know, we just need to have a definitive winner. And Paige is like, you know something, Joe? I can actually agree with you on that one. And there will be a definitive winner. So I have a feeling that there's going to be some type of a special announcement that's going to be made with regards to the type of match that they're going to be having. I would like to believe, I mean, at this point, maybe you do an I Quit match. Maybe that's what you do. Or maybe you do a last man standing match. Maybe that's something else that you do. One of those two, I think you're probably going to have to do for the Super Show. So we'll see what happens, but I would expect there's going to be some type of a special matchup that's going to go down. We saw a backstage segment as well with Miz and Maurice talking with Charlie Caruso, pretty much hyping up their tag match, which was about to drop shortly afterwards. Miz, Maurice went over Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Good intergender tag team matchup. Pretty good. Brie actually was okay. I was looking for some botches there, but Brie didn't do anything that was pretty alarming there. Maurice looked freaking hot, man. She did. I love the outfit that she was wearing. You know, she didn't do that much. It wasn't the Maurice of old, you know, that we remember when she was in the ring pretty much full time. Still comes off a bit rusty, you know, had the basic mechanics down and all that, but there was really nothing spectacular. Miz is now, if I understand the record right, he's now, I think it's now 2-1 in Miz's favor. In 2-1 in Miz's favor, because we actually saw Maurice grab a handful of Brie's tights to pick up the W for her and her husband. So, you know, what is this going to do to Daniel Bryan and Brie going forward? Who knows? You know, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Corey Graves. You know, Corey Graves, I usually enjoy his commentating, but during the matchup, he said something along the lines of,
Bree did all she could to basically help Daniel Bryan get back into the ring because she was sick and tired of him being at home all the time. And you're kind of going, okay, Corey, we get it, man, but like, did you really have to go in that direction? Because, you know, I still remember vividly the couples talking to Good Morning America and anybody else that would grant them interviews. I mean, they were tag teaming, talking about how, hey, they passed all these concussion tests and blah this and blah that, and WWE's being hell-bent. They're not trying to have Daniel Bryan be cleared, and Daniel's talking about possibly going to work for somebody else, you know, if push comes to shove. He's weighing in all his options. So all this stuff that you're hearing, right? And you're just like, you know, I don't know. I guess, look, at the end of the day, to a certain degree, Corey Graves, whatever's being said to him through that headset, what, you know, that's what they're paying him to do, man. I'm sure if he could have it his way, there's just some things like what was said during that broadcast tonight he would not say. But, you know, it is what it is. So we have a really good idea of what is going on with that WWE Super Show that is going to be coming up, that Super Showdown, as these are all your matches. Some were announced tonight, but this is how the whole card is looking, and it looks pretty finalized now. So apparently this was announced. I did not hear when, because at one point I did actually go and let my dog out to use the bathroom. But it's going to be Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, this is going to be going down at the Super Showdown card coming up on Saturday, October the 6th, down in Australia. Asuka and Naomi will team up to take on the Iconics Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in a tag match. New Day will be facing Cesaro and Sheamus for the SmackDown Tag Titles. Cedric Alexander will be taking on Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship. AJ Styles will defend the WWE Championship against Samoa Joe. Bella Twins and Ronda Rousey will be taking on the Riot Squad in a 6-woman tag matchup. Got a fun way as far as how I think that match is going to play out, which will ultimately set up the Evolution pay-per-view main event. The Shield, all 3 members of the Shield, they will reunite to take on the team of Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre in a 6-man tag matchup. Daniel Bryan will face The Miz. It is a singles match to determine the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. God, I hope they put that bad boy on The Miz. I hope Miz wins and then Miz goes on to face AJ for the title. I think that'd be badass. Bobby Lashley and John Cena will be teaming up to take on the team of Elias and Kevin Owens. And in your main event, Triple H will be taking on The Undertaker. Which, by the way, Undertaker returns this coming Monday night on Raw. So that should be pretty fucking awesome. I want to take this time out and give a nod, give thanks to our Patreon members, because our Patreon members of the RCWR Nation are the backbone. They are the heartbeat to a lot of cool things that we're able to do for you guys. Because honestly, without our Patreon members, shows like what you are checking out right now would not be free. So we greatly appreciate our Patreon members. And if you're not a Patreon member yet, do consider signing up, because we have been rolling with awesome fucking exclusive great content for the past several months now. It's been very consistent. The cool part, when you sign up at patreon.com/RCWR Show, you now see a virtual community calendar. You see all the stuff that is going to be recorded during that month. And in a lot of instances, you know what shows are going to be coming, the topics that's going to be covered. You have a say in letting your opinion be heard on, you know, well, hey, could you guys maybe review this or talk about that? And coming soon, we're going to have some really cool prizes that we'll be up for grabs as well. But you get access to bonus exclusive audio and video content that, you know, is not shared on other platforms. So, you know, you get access to the 30 with Lee series, which to date there is now 25 episodes. Just put out a new episode a couple of days ago, getting ready to record a new episode of 30 with Lee for the Patreon members in the coming days, this week for sure. You get access to the new series, Wrestling with the Topics, with me and the missus. We dive into some really awesome, fun, fucking topics. I'm still receiving some good praise for the Chicago and CM Punk experience episode that we did. A lot of people reached out, private message, and said how much they had enjoyed that one. So, you know, check it out. You know, patreon.com/RCWR Show, $5 a month. Get access to really cool content. So, and one just quick side note, if you do sign up for patreon.com, just know that Patreon has now set it up so that if you do sign up, you are charged the day of you signing up, and then there'll be a certain date each month that you'll have a deduction regularly. But like if it's your first time signing up, instantly your card will be charged and there will be a deduction. Just FYI, because that's something new that they had started, I would say probably within the past month and a half. Is their way of trying to fight piracy, because you'd be surprised. You know, sadly, we had a couple of people, even our own listeners, believe it or not, we had some of our own listeners that were basically using a card, and maybe there was like $1 left on it or something like that, that honestly had no intention of dropping the money for the content that they were checking out that month. And then at the end of the month, when they were billed for, okay, you know, you listen to a month of September's worth of content, here we are September 30th, you know, we're now trying to charge you for that content. All of a sudden their cards kept getting declined. And like some people I reached out to, and I'm like, hey, you know, your card was declined, like, you know, take care of that. And like, these were people that just basically were, I gotta call it for what it was, they were just jacking shit, you know. And it was like, damn, you know. So I actually had to block some people from that. Yeah, it sucks when you hear that there's people that like, damn, you can't afford $5, like, really, you know. But you'd be surprised, man, a lot of weird motherfuckers out there. All right, let's continue on. We only got a couple of more matches to talk about. Oh yeah, our Patreon members, that's why I was setting that up. I want to give a nod to our Patreon members. Shout out to the beautiful and the lovely Courtney Summers, host of the new series, the Wrestling Metal Podcast. Shout out to my good buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. Mish, what's up with that computer, man? Come on, man. God, it's like the return of Superman, you know. It's like the death of Superman. It's like he's gone right now, but like we know the return of Superman is going on. Come on, Mish, I'm rooting for you, man. Shout out to John Davis, and I think I said Michael Wolf already. Shout out to Joe Raymond Jr. They are the heartbeat of our Patreon nation. Really appreciate them and their kind contributions. Like I said, man, without them, shows like what you're checking out right now would not be free. We'd be charging you guys, I don't know how much, but we definitely would be charging you guys right now. Let's continue on. Only a couple more matches to talk about here. So where are we now? So we talked about all these matches. Just looking back in the Hell in a Cell notes here. Where are we now? So we talked about Miz, Maurice. So we only got 2 more matches to talk about, it looks like. So yeah, we did the pre-show. We did the pre-show. We did that. We did that. We did that. Yeah, we're blazing through. All right, 2 more matches. Ronda Rousey defeating Alexa Bliss for retaining her Raw Women's Championship. Ronda went a little bit longer in this matchup. I got this match clocking in a little bit over 11 minutes. Don't know the exact number, but was quite impressed. You know, shout out to Kevin Castle. I was saying to Kevin on social media, I said, Kev, it's nice to hear that I'm not the only one that has been noticing for the past couple of months how Ronda Rousey keeps adjusting her attire. It's fucking irritating. And any longtime listeners know I've been on this show many times going, Ronda, stop adjusting your fucking tights. And, you know, I just have a pet peeve for that. I've had a pet peeve for that for a couple of years now. And I still remember the infamous episode of Tough Enough. I can't remember which girl it was, but I remember Lita was one of the coaches or whatever. And there was some girl that kept adjusting her fucking attire, and Lita was just getting so irritated with that shit. And, you know, she was like, stop. Just stop messing with your tights. Like, you know, nothing's moving anywhere. You're okay. You know, just focus on the in-ring action. That was her message. And, like, homegirl just kept adjusting her. And I'm kind of like that same way. It's like, look, if you got to worry about all that, you need to just switch up on your attire completely. Like, seriously. So, I don't know if somebody maybe pulled Ronda to the side and they were like, look, noticing a little bit of pet peeves that's going on with you. You know, some negative pet peeves. Tendencies, rather. Negative tendencies that you have that, you know, you need to work on. And maybe that was one of the things that they told her, because I had my alcohol ready to go tonight, and I'm like, okay, every time Ronda adjusts her attire, I'm going to take a shot. But she didn't do it tonight, and I'm like, wow, okay, Ronda, she's coming along. Unveiled some new attire. She came out definitely wearing her, her Roddy Piper kilt, had the leather jacket on and everything. But then when she, you know, took the kilt and the jacket off, she was wearing solid black with gold text. So she had the Ronda text that was going across her chest. She had 3 gold lines. They weren't straight down. They kind of went a little bit, I would say, diagonal, if you will. And there was nothing on the front or the back of her trunks attire. They seemed a little bit more modified the way that she needed them. You know, they seemed to be a little bit more longer. But, you know, at some point, after you do all of that moving around, it's going to rise up, right? But it was nice to see her in a position where she wasn't trying to, you know, adjust it and all that. And I liked it. I like what she had unveiled, but it just seems like something is missing. It seems like there's some type of a logo that's missing. I don't know if it's maybe in the front crotch area or if maybe it needs to be put on the back or what, but it just seems like there's something else missing. Maybe she'll be able to apply that in due time, because it was recently revealed that her and her team recently have filed for some trademarks. So they got something called Ronda Wear. So it sounds to me like they're going to be introducing a new line of apparel for Ronda. I believe there was also a trademark for the Rowdy ones. So something is definitely brewing. So I can't wait to see how all that's going to be stringing together in the WWE universe. Yeah. But, you know, this match, you know, pretty straightforward, pretty much went down the way I had expected it to go down. Not really any surprises there. Ronda applying the submission armbar, really did not get a chance to break off Alexa Bliss's arm. If anything, it was like immediately as soon as the move was applied, Alexa Bliss just started tapping out. And that was pretty much it. It was like as soon as Alexa Bliss's arm was just held on, Alexa just tapped the fuck out. And I'm just going, all right, well, so much for that one. Alicia Fox and Mickie James, they, you know, good eye candy. Tried to be a little bit distracting to the referee so they could try to tag team a little bit and try to set up Ronda, but Natty was at ringside and she pretty much for the most part was able to get the upper hand on them. I gotta be honest with you guys, I thought at one point it was just gonna be a situation where the numbers game was gonna be so much for Ronda and Natty could only do so much at ringside because it's basically 2-on-1 outside the ring. I thought that maybe, just maybe, Nia Jax was going to come out. And sadly, that did not happen. She did not come out. So I know the reports out there, and, you know, she's been sharing on social media her progress at the Performance Center and everything. I think she's going to be showing up a lot sooner rather than later. I actually can't wait for her to come on back already. One more match to talk about. Had a lot of you guys going, what the fuck? Fuck finish. Oof. Definitely a fuck finish. The match in question, I'm talking about Braun Strowman taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Yeah, buddy. I gotta tell you. Good matchup. Good matchup, but the finish, very fucking questionable. So, I mean, look, we all knew, and I said it on this show, I said, look, you know, you can expect that the Shield and Ziggler, McIntyre, they're all going to collide, and somehow those guys are maybe going to be able to find their way in the ring. My whole thing was the Shield was going to find some type of a way to get in the ring, and the numbers game was maybe going to be applied once again, and Roman was somehow going to be able to get out with the title. I kind of got part of that equation right, but like, you know, it went down as planned. You know, we see at one point, while both participants inside of the Hell in a Cell as special guest referee Mick Foley was looking on, we do see McIntyre, Ziggler, they come on out. They're trying to figure out a way to get inside the cage. But then we see Ambrose, Rollins, they come, they bring the fight to them. Eventually we see the fight between these guys. It goes on up to the top of the steel cage. And meanwhile, like, our attention is now on these guys. And you got Mick Foley looking up at these guys like, hey, what's going on? And I just couldn't help. I actually said to the TV at one point, I was saying to my girl, I said, why is Mick Foley even worried about what's happening outside? Like, he's got a match right here for the Universal Championship happening right before his very eyes. Like, I know these two guys are, I mean, the two guys were down, Braun and Roman, they were down for like so fucking long. I swear to God, I wouldn't be surprised if the guys were just laying on their stomachs and, you know, they're drawing tic-tac-toe on the freaking mat, you know, while the boys are on above them doing their fucking thing and shit, right? But like, that's how I felt. I'm like, can we get back to the action that's inside the ring or whatever? So, you know, you're thinking at one point, well, what are these guys going to do? Well, you know, it's like the 20th anniversary here of the Hell in a Cell. You know, what exactly is going to happen here? What are they going to do here? You know, what are they going to do? And, you know, at one point we see Seth Rollins, and who was the other one? I want to say maybe Dolph Ziggler? I want to say it was maybe Dolph Ziggler. Something. I know for sure it was Seth Rollins. I just can't really picture who the other guy was. I'm really tempted to say it was Ziggler. But for sure, Rollins, two guys go crashing through from halfway from the steel cage. They weren't on top. They weren't on the rooftop of the steel cage. They were on the side, you know, kind of safe, and they crashed through that. You're going, okay, that's expected, and that really wasn't that high up, you know, whatever. So all of this is going on. Next thing you know, you hear the music of the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. You're going, what? And it turns out the reports were true. Brock Lesnar was in the house. Brock Lesnar looking better than ever. Okay? Brock Lesnar looked 30 pounds lighter. 30 pounds lighter, guys. And he had the beginnings of a really nice beard that was coming in. It's just really, really light. But he had a really nice beard. Looks like he's really been trimming down. Looks like he's really trying to do his best to get in the MMA shape, if you will. Looking great, though. Nothing looked enhanced. Nothing looked, you know, all cut up. I mean, but then again, all he was wearing was a shirt. So, you know, you never really know, right? But Lesnar comes out looking really fucking good. Kicks the fucking steel cage door down. Mick Foley, you know, tries to find his way to go talk to Paul, saying, you know, what the hell, Paul? And Paul pretty much sprays Mick Foley in the face with a, I don't know, can of mace or whatever. Brock Lesnar goes in there, beats the holy crap. The guys are still on the ground, mind you, so like all this time and they still haven't recovered. Brock Lesnar, after he crashes the steel cage door down, he brings in, you know, a piece of an announcer's table or whatever, a piece of wooden table from earlier, I think it was, and he just starts beating the crap out of both guys with it. Does a F5 to Roman Reigns. You've got the fans saying, thank you, Brock, thank you, Brock, and it's kind of like, no. Don't thank Brock just yet. Thank Brock after he takes Braun Strowman and maybe does something like, I don't know, put Braun over the lying corpse of Roman Reigns. and 1, 2, 3, and there's a new champion that way, maybe, but the way that Lesnar was booked was definitely smart. It definitely was, but that was a very weird finish. I would definitely admit that to you guys, because basically your pay-per-view goes off where Brock Lesnar wrecking havoc, causing carnage, he rolls out, and the official is like, hey, these guys can't continue, this is over, and we gotta raise the steel cage, and officials, EMTs come out, and your pay-per-view pretty much goes off like that. So you're going, okay, so like what? And I just told you guys what was going on with the WWE Super Showdown card, right? So you hear that Super Showdown card, nowhere on that Super Showdown card do you hear Brock Lesnar. Nowhere on there do you hear Brock Lesnar. So it's like, okay, so what's going on here, right? It was definitely a weird finish. I would admit that. I would have settled for something along the lines of maybe McIntyre kind of recovered, and maybe he was able to go in there and help out Braun or something of that nature. Now, see, this creates a unique situation because, and see, a lot of people are going to be like, but hear me out for a second. I think I might be onto something. And I'm going to post this question online and see what you guys think. But since Brock Lesnar had interfered, right? Like stop and think for a second. In order for Braun Strowman to have the match that he was able to have tonight, he had to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. So we did see him turn over that Money in the Bank briefcase over to Baron Corbin. So we know that's how he got his match, right? But see, since Braun did not pin Roman and Roman did not pin Braun, then wouldn't that technically mean that Braun still has the Money in the Bank briefcase? And if not, if it doesn't mean that Braun still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, then would this mean that, well, hey, look, since Braun didn't lose, he still gets a shot at the championship? And I'll go with the latter one just to, really make sense out of it. Let's just say, yeah, he turned it in. That's, there's really no way you can kind of reverse that. He still has a title shot. So he's still in the title picture with the way things had ended. So now you can have Braun easily say, hey, if it wasn't for fucking Brock Lesnar, I'd be the champion, by now. And with the way that Brock Lesnar did what he did, I mean, if you think about the storyline, I know some people are going to shit on this, but here's how you make sense out of that finish. Brock Lesnar wanted a rematch for the Universal Championship. And the last thing that he was told by Kurt Angle, no way, no how, cold day in hell before that happens. You can forget about it. It's going to be a long time before Brock Lesnar gets another title shot, as far as I'm concerned, right? So this is Brock Lesnar's way of getting a little bit of retribution for, honestly, hey, he's still owed a title shot. And who's to say that Brock Lesnar doesn't do this again, right? He just may very well do this again until he finally gets what he wants. So as long as you still have that story arc, at some point you're gonna have to put the finito on that one. So this could be a situation where worlds collide, maybe back in the States, maybe with Survivor Series. Maybe there will be a triple threat match at Survivor Series, because I'm looking at the next batch of pay-per-views that's going to be coming up. So we know October 6th is going to be the Super Showdown, and then it looks like Evolution is going to be on October 28th, and then you got the NXT War Games that's going to be coming up. NXT War Games is going to be happening on November the 17th in Los Angeles, California. So your Survivor Series is going to be, I would not be surprised if maybe we'll see Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. It's very well possible. But, you know, honestly, despite the somewhat questionable head-scratching ending there, I think a lot of us probably would have went in a different direction. I definitely would have gone in a different direction, but it still got the job done. I mean, now you've got the suspense built to checking out the next batch of weeks in program. And I would definitely have to give the show a pass for sure. So that is your Hell in a Cell pay-per-view results card there. Looking at the latest poll that we have right now on Twitter, we have 35 votes coming in so far. I think there's a couple of more votes. Actually, let me go back here because I'm looking at my Twitter right now. And let me see if, because I think I put this poll out in 2 different places actually. So let me actually hit tweets and replies and see if I can pull it up that way. There we go. Okay, so right now, oh yeah, so right now we got about over 100 votes I'm looking at here. I am seeing about 70. This is interesting. Hang on. Ooh, wow. I am seeing about 75% of you are giving Hell in a Cell a thumbs down. I wonder if that is because of the finish. I'm very, very curious. That's a very interesting poll right there. And then let's look at what you guys are saying on YouTube here. Let's click on YouTube. And if you haven't cast your vote, yeah, you can. Twitter at the RCWR Show. Give me a follow over there as well. And YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab. On YouTube, we got about 17 votes in. We've got 41% of you guys that's giving it a thumbs down. 59% of you guys are giving it a thumbs up. So, interesting results that we got there so far. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick a fork in it. We're going to say this is DONE done. For those of you that is going to be waiting for the video stream of this broadcast, give me about, I would say, let me just think about this here. Give me about, I would say, let me see, because it's rather late. I'm just thinking if it'll be ready in time for you guys, and I'm not really sure. That's the thing. Let's see how it goes. I know the audio version will definitely be available for you guys to check out. The YouTube version of this show, it may not be available until, you know, maybe Monday evening. I'll try to see if I can get this out to you guys before I go to bed in a little bit. But if I can't, you know, worst case scenario, it'll just be uploaded sometime Monday afternoon, Monday evening, way before Raw comes on, right? Okay, so for all the very latest, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you may have missed, available on the downloads on demand, wherever you listen to podcasts, man. Give me a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe so you never miss out on all the great content that comes your way on a week-to-week basis. Maybe we can open up the phone lines one Tuesday, assuming that the video stream and all that will be on point. Have some of you guys call in and talk about your likes, dislikes about the Hell in a Cell after show. But that is going to do a special shout out to our Patreon members. And once again, we got to give it up to the Hollywood Initiative, October 26th through November 2nd. Don't miss out on the Hollywood Initiative. If you're an aspiring actor looking to better your career, learn the essential tools you'll need at the Hollywood Initiative. Receive training and voice coaching, participate in acting classes, workshops, demo scenes, headshots, meet with agents and directors, so much more at the Hollywood Initiative. Have questions for the experts? Participate in the Hollywood Initiative's Q&A panel show. Don't miss out on this week-long event that will help move your career forward in the right direction. Apply now. Register and get more info at thehollywoodinitiative.com. That's thehollywoodinitiative.com. And follow the Hollywood Initiative on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords The Hollywood Initiative. Also, the RCWR Show is brought to you in part by JustDoItAfraid.com, helping you upcoming students, or maybe you past students, with the best consultation tips and planning when it comes to student loans repayments. Them student loan repayments, man, you got to get on that. You got to knock that out while it's early, otherwise it will kick your ass. And with the interest and all that piling up, you will be messed up for life in student loan debt. So learn from the best, get those tips, get that planning that you need by JustDoItAfraid.com. Get some really good help from them. All right, guys, that is going to do it. I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. See you guys next go round. Everybody do take care. Good night, good morning, and may the good news be yours.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.